there is actually one guy who is a dual sport athlete and making it work for him on both ends. Our three-time MVP Nikola Jokic is a really good basketball player, and he also trains horses.
Donkey.
I like that.
Listen.
He's a soccer player.
He got it down pat. Now you probably think about Luca. Luca got a little. He got
Steve
a
Nash.
Yeah.
Steve Nash got the feet work. Joel's pretty good too, but 7 foot. Whew, man, he get his leg clipped. But anywho, three-time MVP came back with some noise. Both road games in Minnesota get taken by Denver. They look like a completely different team than what they showed at home. Game 2, the first half of Game 2 was probably the best 24 minutes of defense I've seen in a playoff game. Yeah. Maybe ever, but in a really, really long time. Like, I was in multiple group chats, like, Jamal Murray and Joker are in jail right now. Like, prison, detention center, whatever you want to call it. Minnesota had the clamps on them, but they've responded well. You know, never underestimate the heart of a champion. The series is tied 2-2, heading back to Denver for a pivotal Game 5. Anthony Edwards was seen, you know, exchanging some words, or at least saying some words, because apparently Jamal Murray didn't respond after the game, saying we like that.
Heat pack at him with it.
He said, yo, that's gonna prove it. Yeah.
I mean, all right. So Darnell, being that the series is 2-2 now, what is your confidence level on Denver? You know, possibly winning 4 in a row, or maybe just winning the series versus Minnesota. Is Minnesota going to bounce back the same way Denver did?
I think Minnesota will, because I think Minnesota has to play with that chip. You know, I think they lost that chip coming back, you know, to the Target Center. Number one, Murray shouldn't have been suspended for Game 3. Like we you know, like the NBA really dropped the bag on that, because that's pretty bad, Sean. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's money, but essentially that's a
we've had guys suspended for playoff games for less
than that. You know what I mean? So Adam Silver, I said, like,
they should have suspended JoJo for grabbing Mitch Robinson's legs, but that didn't happen.
He should have at minimum gotten kicked out that game.
Yeah, you know, something like that. You know, but we have to really understand that Minnesota, they were a young team and they need to get that adversity. You know, when they came back home, they got comfortable again, and you know, as Lil Wayne always said, man, don't you get too comfortable, you know, and they have to understand their opportunity.
Babyface actually sang it.
Well, Babyface the hook, but it was Lil Wayne's song. You know what I'm saying? Like we know Babyface is probably one of the greatest producers of all time. We know that. All right, we know. But you know, you left yourself open, you know, and you let Denver. And I think the straw that really broke that game was that last 8 seconds. You know, how you let all of those points go up and just extend the lead, because if you look at it, the 8 points that they scored at the end of the first half, they lost by 8 points. That was something that seemed so trivial, but it came back to harm them. You know what I mean? So I'm still confident with Minnesota. I think they'll come out with that dog in them, and I think they're going to really, you know, let Denver know, because, you know, Denver, they got their swag, but, you know, I just think Minnesota just has. I think this is the transition year, and for them to really come in, go back to Denver, and really punch them out. I think Minnesota still has it.
So you hope Minnesota doesn't run into you know, Nick syndrome, right? With Anthony Edwards doing all the work and looking for help. I saw the stat last night. You know, you mentioned they lost by 8. The minutes Anthony Edwards played on the floor, they were +5, and the minutes he was off the floor, they were -13. Yeah. Do the math, right? So it's
Anthony Edwards said Aaron Gordon.
He's like, I'm tired of seeing that guy, right? So it's like, at this point, you need Cap to show up, right? Like, you're talking about, you're the greatest shooting big of all time. You know, Batman and Robin between you and Ant. You know, he didn't say that specifically, but I'm considering that you're the second best scorer on that team. You cannot afford to disappear in these moments, because they need you. The games they won, you played amazing. You got to put up points. You got to stop fouling, getting yourself in foul trouble, and then having to head to the bench, because that's just making it tougher for the team.
Yeah.
Sean, who responds better in Game 5, or who has the better game, Jokic or Edwards?
I think Jokic is going to give you what he normally gives you in these types of games, right? I think that you have to think about the others. And to Darnell's point, first off, I want to address this real quick. Jamal Murray is a first-time offender. Okay, they're not gonna kick him out of the game.
He threw a
I understand what he did, but he is not somebody who was known for that kind of activity. If it was a Draymond Green, bye, so long, farewell, he's out of it, right? But this is Jamal, light skin. I'm from Canada, and I talk like this.
I think the sex tape got to count against him, though.
Say again?
The sex tape should count against him.
Wow.
Point taken. Point taken. But it's the others. It's everybody's talking about Jokic and Murray. Nobody's talking about the performance from Aaron Gordon. He played outstanding. And he flipped the switch on the offensive end. He was 11 for 12 from the field. And
he's not doing that in Game 5, I can guarantee you that.
But he gave you the production that you needed on the road to be able to pull out a victory in that fashion. And I think that the Wolves was stunned. And like you said, Anthony Edwards, aka Baby Jordan, was salty at the end of the game, which is fine because he's a competitor. But I think some of the keys are going to be, from the production from the other guys. You get some threes from Caldwell Pope. You get the same defensive intensity from Aaron Gordon. I think we are due for an MPJ big game down the pipe. So I think that the Nuggets have an opportunity to be able to go 3-2 in their building and then go on the road and maybe possibly close it out. But this series could definitely go 7.
All right, maneuvers 2-2. We've been hearing about the Ant MJ comparisons for at minimum a week, probably more, dating back to last series against Phoenix. Joker was down 0-2 in his own house. All the talk was, how will the MVP respond? Maybe he didn't deserve the former MVPs, but going back-to-back is hard. He's not as good as we think he is. They both answered the bell. Who wins the series and why?
Well, first things first. Does Rudy Gobert have a little side chick that may be pregnant? That she might be about to deliver right now. We don't have him for the birth of another child. Get him out of here for the birth of another child. But nah, gentlemen, this is playoffs.
That's some foul ass shit.
Why?
That's all I gotta say. I think that's some foul ass shit.
No,
get him out of here so they can play better.
No, I don't necessarily think it's them playing better. I think it's, again, this is playoff basketball. And I think, and we've said this before. We've all said this. We all agree that playoff basketball is all about coaching and adjustments.
Yeah,
and I think them understanding, okay, we're not going to have Rudy tonight. We got to play defense a different way. Or then we're off guard in game 2. They weren't ready for that adjustment. I think they've thrown what they can throw at Denver so far. I think Denver's made their adjustments, which is why they were able to take 2, in Minnesota. Yeah. So the answer to shout out to Mike Malone and the coaching and the adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I think, at this point, the adjustments will be made. I think it's going to go to a game 7. I honestly think it is too close to call right now. I think it's anybody's series.
We agree on something.
If I had to pick, life on the line, I gotta pick. I am gonna go with. I will go with Minnesota just simply because I think, just if their bench shows up the way that they can, I think it's too much for Denver.
Fair point. So staying out west, other series, Sean mentioned he likes all 4 teams out west. I've said I think the winner of Nuggets Wolves is going to represent the West and potentially win it all. A bunch of teams on the East undemand, and Boston is like the most unserious contender I've seen in quite some time. But we got Mavs OKC at the time of this recording. It is 46-37 Mavericks up in game 4. They're already up 2-1 on the series. The resurgence of Kyrie Irving. We've heard, the past couple years, he's just been dogged in mainstream media for all these different things. Anti-Semitic thoughts or quotes, the earth is flat, anti-vax, none of which had anything to do with his skill on the basketball court. Injuries are injuries. They're part of the game. They've happened to him, time and again. It's been unfortunate that we haven't been able to see him on the floor as much as we'd like. But he has responded like none other. The pairing with Luka is working this year way better than it did last year. There are a bunch of hoopers, former NBA players on the media, on TV last year saying they just needed more time. The pairing was right there. This is kind of like, LeBron, Kyrie all over again, just in the simple fact that you have another lead dog that can bring the ball up, handle the offense. And if he's double teamed, if he's getting picked up 94 feet, Kyrie, it's your time, right? Kyrie's been getting to his assist bag this series and, just having that IQ of when to take over. Darnell, Mavs up 2-1 in the series. Are they going to continue this thing and close it out, or does the young OKC squad, have a chance at this?
I think this is the pivotal game for OKC. I think if OKC, because I did pick OKC to represent the West, but they do have a big mountain to climb tonight in Dallas. If they can pull something out the bag and win this game, then I could say, hey, you know what? This series is probably going 7. But right now, I think Dallas is starting to really find their footing. I think PJ has been, giving them real solid minutes.
Crazy.
Just giving them solid minutes. He left Brittany Reiner and he's back to being regular again. So
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
This guy. No, but can we shout out Nico Jones?
Brittany Renner, my bad.
Nico Jones, the GM for the Dallas Mavericks, for the kind of team that he put around Luka and Kyrie. And complementary pieces, like you mentioned, Darnell, PJ Washington, Gafford from the Wizards, Dante Jones. Is it Dante Jones? Dante Jones.
Derrick Jones Jr.
Oh, Derrick Jones. Derrick Jones Jr.
The former dunk champion.
Derrick Jones. So he came from the Pelicans, didn't he?
Yeah. So
excellent wing defender. They have a
was he on the Pelicans or was he on the Heat?
He was with the Pels and the Heat.
And the Heat. Okay, yeah.
But a perfect blend of outside shooting, ruggedness, and athleticism around those guys. But listen, man, Luka's been getting his ass kicked when it comes. Speaking of athleticism, the Thunder have done an excellent job on making things tough for Luka, especially one-on-one defense and the athleticism. I mean, those guys have been making it difficult for him. But Kyrie Irving has not had a problem. He's been breaking these guys down, getting easy shots and getting great looks for himself. They can't find a way to contain him, and I think that's going to be the difference in this series. As much as I hate to say it, because I did pick the Thunder to go and represent the West.
And you're a Kyrie hater.
Shut up. So, I think that Dallas
fact-based program.
It is not a fact. It is not a fact. Okay. We're all victims of the moment at one point in time, and we have our own personal feelings when we speak about things.
Only you. I'm never a victim of the moment.
Really? You are what you have on top of your head right now, bro. Big cap.
It's a fact.
Big duck bill cap. Pause. But moderator.
Maneuvers. Can the winner of this OKC Dallas series beat whoever comes out of the Minnesota Denver series, or is the Minnesota Denver series essentially the Western Conference Final?
I think it's styles make fight. Might make fight. Styles make fight. I think it all depends on who's playing who. because I can see OKC matching up really
Pick
well.
one, nigga. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
I can see them matching up really well with both, Minnesota and Denver, and playing a really good series. Dallas, I don't think it's going to be that easy for them against Minnesota or Denver.
Wait, didn't Kyrie have that running? Was that running sky hook? Wasn't that against Denver?
Denver,
That was against Denver, yeah.
But this is playoff basketball, sir, and Denver is the defending champ. I think OKC has the best shot of the two to win the Western Conference. That said, if they lose this year, I don't think it's anything for them to worry about because I think they only get better
run it
next
back. Run it back.
They come in, turn it right around. Like people think this is Chet's first year. He was drafted last year. This is his first year.
Yeah.
Like
he will be better.
He will be better next year. So I mean, if I had to pick, I think maybe Dallas gets it because of that man. It's a bad man, Kyrie Irving. Yeah, I think I see it when I watch the game. I see it in the look on his face when he's like, I'm about to go get this. Like, I'm taking over. He has to. When you talk about a look, like he got the look. Like, all right, this is my game.
It's my bucket.
Even with Luke on it, and I mean, it's poetry in motion. So we won't get into it, but I think I'm gonna go with Dallas this year. Next year, I think it's OKC's to lose in the West.
All right. So moving on to the other conference, back on our side. Celtics defeated the Cavs tonight in Game 4 to go up 3-1. I mean, to be honest, that series was a wrap even before the night. We could do this real quick. Donovan Mitchell out with a calf strain, so if there's no way he's not playing Game 5. That series should be over in short order. We got
closer than it should have been, though.
It was way closer. But that's the thing, right? I feel like it's a mental block with all of us, right? Like, if we're at our job and a meeting gets canceled, what do we do? Now I get to chill. Yeah. But mentally, if that meeting was still on the calendar, we know we got like a 30-45 minute window to be productive to get the work done that we need to before that time. Same thing in sports, right? Donovan Mitchell's out. We're gonna come in. We're chilling. We chilling. It's gonna be easy, and the ball doesn't stick because one guy isn't dribbling. The ball is moving, it's whipping it because it's the only way they can play. They got two ball handlers in Karis LeVert and Darius Garland that's going to make everything go, and they try to surround them with shooters. Evan Mobley, I seen him hit a 3 or 2 tonight, trying to work on that shot. They gave it their best shot. At the end of the day, Boston just has too much. This thing is going to be over in 5. Anything significant? Any thoughts? The only thing I would say for this series, chinks in the armor with Boston. They ain't them. Yeah. They ain't them. And it makes me
sad. Is there any more of a overrated player than Evan Mobley? Can you speak to that? How overrated he is at the power forward position?
When this dude was drafted, a lot of the talk his rookie season was, we see early shades of Tim Duncan and or KG.
Yeah,
I don't know what people were seeing, and that's the thing, right?
That rookie season was.
Is it him? Is it really him though? Is it really him?
Was it style? Was it stats?
Is it coaching?
Opportunity.
I have taken the approach of being a little bit more hesitant on like passing judgment of the guy. Like if he's only in one place and he hasn't had the opportunity to really like. Jalen Brunson was nobody in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of.
out of 10, he was like a 3-some, maybe 3.
I mean, there's a lot of guys. I'm not defending Evan Mobley. I'm just saying, hey, who knows? You know, does he go somewhere else and we see what they thought they were seeing? Maybe not all the way, but maybe, you know, there's a higher ceiling than we think there is now, because I think
your point is skewed from the standpoint you're saying.
No,
that
I think it goes both ways.
No, but the comparison between him and Brunson ain't even in the same fucking ballpark.
No,
because
I'm not making a comparison between him and Brunson. I'm making a comparison between a guy being one place and going to another place, and you getting a different
version of him.
I don't think that he deserves that luxury because of how high he was picked, and the fact that he needed to be
a starter.
He needs to be a game changer. I don't think that applies in this conversation.
And here are the specific differences, right? Brunson came off the bench, and when he got the opportunity when Luka was out,
and he was a second round pick.
No. Listen,
second round pick.
I am not
comparing the two. You're just saying
it
new scenery.
Because I can make the comparison of, like, Washington thought it made sense to go get Jordan Poole, like, you know, like
Jordan Poole, man.
It makes it you know.
What a fall from grace.
I think the argument can go both ways. I think changing. I think you've seen it with veteran players. You know what I'm saying? Where we thought it was over for them because of where they were at, and they go to another spot like, oh shoot, wait a second, he still got a little bit more in the tank.
That's crazy because he's in year 3 or year 4? We're already talking about maybe a change of scenery might be better for him. Isn't that a little?
I don't crazy. Well, no, but the thing is,
it's not us. It's not just us.
But
media talk about it too. Go ahead, Darnell.
But I was going to say, number one, I think I'm going to say what I think a lot of basketball fans are thinking. I really wanted to see that Magic team play against the Boston Celtics. I think a lot of people wanted, because they had that series. They were up by like
Cleveland is boring.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wanted to see.
I don't want to watch any.
I want to see Paolo. I wanted to see that young Magic team who started to get their footing and took it to 7. What happened?
They got slapped in 5 too.
No.
They didn't have enough offense.
No.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I would have liked to see that
more intrigued than that.
Yeah,
fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest.
Paolo versus Tatum. That would have been cool to watch.
Phenomenal.
So bored with Cleveland, bro.
Because like
Cleveland, they have the defensive matchups.
Yeah, they would have, because it said with Cleveland, we know who Cleveland is. You know, like they're the same. Like. And I'm not knocking. I think JB Bickerstaff has done a great job with that team to try to even get them to like relevance again after the whole LeBron, when LeBron left, you know. But you look at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like, does anybody right now on TNT on a Tuesday say, you know what, I want to see the Cavs play?
Bro, I have no desire to watch the Cavs. I have no sympathy for the Cavs.
NBA Siberia.
Bro, listen.
NBA Siberia, and in the playoffs.
There's nothing. Well, they should be, bro. This team has probably had more number 1 overall draft picks in the last.
Yeah.
They're like,
Hell
like,
yeah.
Yo, what was the old boy name? Yo,
Andrew.
How about even and I hate to drag the young talent, but when you in these kinds of games and you see their performances, it kind of makes you scratch your head. If they're good enough, Darius Garland, where is he? He's supposed to be.
He showed up tonight.
He had 30
he was
tonight.
He had 30.
And I think so, Sean. I think that speaks to a bigger issue, right? Like, I don't think they figured out the Garland Donovan Mitchell pairing because they don't really play well
together.
Water. It's like
they take one off the floor.
When Darius Garland was out earlier in the season with the orbital or with the draw,
they were balling.
Jared Allen, Evan Mobley,
killing. They went on multiple 9-10 game win streaks. Donovan Mitchell was killing, and the same thing when Donovan was out. Darius Garland killing. Now they play together, and it's just like, which way did it go? They have no idea what to do. But gentlemen, enough of that series. Let's get to the most intriguing, or at least the second most intriguing playoff matchup this round.
Yeah.
Our beloved hometown Knicks. And we've talked a lot in the group chat.
It's a rough evening to do
about this team.
Rough weekend.
You know, we go into game 3 understanding that OG would not play on Friday, understanding that Brunson will probably be hobbled with his foot. You know, we saw he was questionable to play. We felt he would play, but it may be a game time decision. Let's see how effective he'll be. You know, going to Indiana, Rick Carlisle submitting 78 plays to the league to have reviewed. All the odds.
Oh man, change the whole series
against us.
Change the series,
and we lost to a double step back from 31 feet to Andrew Nemhard, who was 1 for 7 from the field and 0 for 5 from 3.
I thought it was 35
before that shot.
35 feet.
More than 30 feet. That shot had about less than a 10% chance of going, and as soon as it left his hand,
I saw that made me
I was like,
more mad.
There's no way this goes in, right? And it was butter. Like it touched.
He was shocked.
Nothing.
Yeah,
he was shocked. There's literally footage of Tyrese Halliburton with his hands on his head, like, no way. So, you know, I'm like, all right, we shake his hand and we move on. Because if we're gonna lose to that, I'd rather lose to that than us, you know, misrotate off of Tyrese Halliburton or Miles Turner and let one of them shoot it.
Or getting slapped away by 20 yesterday. That was a little more digestible.
I don't think. Go ahead, FJP.
All right, so I'll say this: we lost by 32 yesterday. We were down by as many as 43. We started the game. Indiana missed nothing. Like, you look at the first quarter, they hit everything. Miles Turner had a shot with, I believe it was either Hartenstein or Achua, all over him. He shoots the ball, tries to fake draw foul. Yeah, at the top of the key.
Yeah, top of the key. Yep.
Splash. I was just like, okay, it's gonna be one of those days.
Yeah.
You know, like, there are certain guys who hit shots and you're just like, he's on fire. And there's other guys who hit shots and you're like, but you don't do that. And there was a lot of that in yesterday's game. Like, these guys don't do that. They hit an absurd number of shots just in general from the field. And I looked at the box score and I'm just like, all right, this level of potency is not repeatable for them. Yeah, they can run, they can create opportunities, but it's going to take way more field goal attempts to be able to put those numbers up. So, I said, a loss is a loss. It's 2-2. We're coming back to the Garden. You know, we played Friday and then had to play less than 48 hours later because it was an afternoon game. You know, this team, we don't really perform all that well in afternoon games, you know, on the road after we gave everything we had on Friday. So you figured coming into Sunday, there was going to be a little layover. And to Darnell's point, Indiana plays a lot of guys. You know, most teams at this point in the playoffs are playing 8 guys in their rotation. Now, moving on to tomorrow, which is going to be a whole different deal. I expect this team to fully bounce back. You know, they had another day off, not an afternoon game. It is a night game. They are at home. And we've seen this time and time again. We talk about it in the group chat all the time. Every time we think this team is down and out, they crawl back out. Worldwide Wob, Rob Perez on Twitter, shout out to him. He calls the team cockroaches. Because they keep showing up.
Can't
like
stomp them out.
You can't get rid of them. They're everywhere. They go balls to the wall. They do what they need to do.
Balls.
No Diddy. No Diddy. So let's get into it, fellas, because we were talking about this earlier. And, you know, of course, all the talk has been about Tibbs and his rotation and us playing less people. Go ahead, Maneuvers.
I just got one thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to that 3-pointer in Game 3, and so thinking about tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, if it comes down to something like that, they will not win. And you know why? The thing that stood out to me more than him hitting the 3-pointer is at home. Game 1 of the line, their star deferred. He had a look. He gave it up. He dribbled into the double, and then he passed the ball. can't do that in the Garden. It's not. If it comes down to that tomorrow night, you can't do that in the Garden. Nobody on the team except Tyrese Halliburton should be taking that shot tomorrow night.
But that's his natural. That's his natural reaction to make the right basketball play. He is a pass.
It wasn't the right basketball play. It was.
He should have passed. He should have went. First of all, it was a lot of things. I see Manuva's point. Tyrese Halliburton should have got rid of the ball way sooner. He should have dribbled into the double with like at least 7 more seconds on the clock, pass it out, and then go back to get it. Reset, go back and get the ball. Now you got the defense in a scramble because you're not at the top of the key. You're on the wing. You did this dribble handoff with Nembhard. Now they got to figure it out. Now you probably have 2 chasing as opposed to 2 just converging at him on top of the key. But he gave it to Nembhard. It was like 5 seconds left. Like
less than that. He held on to it way too long, and then he was like, "All right, there's nothing I can do with it. Let me get the ball out of my hands." That's what it was. It wasn't a smart basketball play. It was he nutted up.
No. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that's his natural reaction. That he's not. Pass. Yes,
he's not that guy. Like he's not essentially. He's not gonna be the one going 1-on-1 at the top of the key for game.
Nope.
But scared. he had a look early on in the shot clock, and he held the ball until it was like 4 seconds left in the shot clock, and then passed it and got lucky.
But he's over here passing hand grenades to his teammates, bro.
Exactly. It's not. You can do that at home. You can do that at home and get away with it and get a lucky win.
It looked like Darnell just teleported.
Yeah, he absolutely did, and we're gonna get to him right now because we've been talking about this all day. Darnell has been on TV along with the media about this whole rotation thing, and the players are tired, and Indy plays all their players, and the Knicks need to play more players. So, Darnell, state your point, and I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong.
No. I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong too.
Yeah, well, no. All my biggest
and
thing.
Julio Jones is gonna tell you too.
Nah, I'm not. I'm gonna say, hey, look, you know what? We don't have any other option. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna agree with you guys on that. I'm gonna take the L and say, hey, we don't have any other option. This is what we got. We
were looking forward to an ignorant. Concede. Come on,
no. I'm not.
Tyrese Halliburton on the pod.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
What? No.
I was looking for some ignorant ass argument that we could just go back and forth.
My biggest thing, as I said with Tibbs, bench wise, and I said you develop your bench early in the season. You know what I mean? Like that. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Granted, all right, we got G League players, but the point of a coach and a point of a team, and that's just me. That's why you have your advisors. That's why you have your different assistant coaches underneath you to develop players so that, if that guy gets in for 5 minutes to give someone a break, in that 5 minutes he's gonna be like TJ McConnell. And TJ McConnell, for like whenever he comes in, and I can't stand him, comes in and he just gives a burst, bro. And you don't have to give me like points, but give me that energy to say, oh wow, like to give the starters a push. That's what I'm talking about.
You do realize Josh Hart is not a starter.
We have
to realize Josh Hart is not a starter.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like as I told you.
Do you realize that? Do you realize?
No, maneuvers. Let the man.
What I'm trying to say, yes, we know Josh Hart, we know Dante, we know those. Those are the 2 guys right now we could say have stepped up tremendously for us.
Bro,
as has Miles McBride.
And McBride, yeah.
As has Isaiah Hartenstein.
Right, and he did. But what happened with him when Mitch was out? He got the playing time. He got his confidence. He got better.
He was always getting playing time.
He had no choice.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But there you go. You guys are feeding into what I'm saying. He got the opportunity. He showed that he has potential, and putting it
But he
forward in the
always,
playoffs.
he was
it's not the
always
same
getting
thing.
playing.
No, as I'm saying, I've always said develop a
Okay,
bench.
wait.
I have never once said anything about
developed
not
such a good
developing
bench.
a
Hold
bench.
on,
We
hold on,
developed
hold on.
such
Okay,
a good
wait.
bench
So let's
that our bench is our starters now.
So let's get into the specifics, right? Darnell, you're all about developing the bench, right?
Develop your players, man. Give me
Who-
5-10
what-
minutes.
Who on the bench right now should have been developed to be able to play in this moment?
Or
Well,
was
I
there
said-
to be developed?
Who is there to be developed?
But that's a big thing, right? Because once Julius Randle went down, that was a period of time when, you know what, we could, and also when OG was out, there was a period of time where you could go in and say, hey, who do I have here on this bench? And if you don't have anybody, hey, then I said, then that's it. Then my argument is null and void. Then
We traded and got
We
a
don't
guy.
have anybody.
We traded and got a guy. We traded
so
because
I
of
said-
that reason.
But look, as I said, man, like right now, as I said, I've always said this about Tips, about playing the guys hard, and I said, like, I've always said that. You know, this one, as you guys said before earlier, it's not really his fault, but, you know, I just go back to, you know, playing Julius Randle, as much as I hate to say it, when we're up by like 25 points in Miami Heat, was that even necessary? You know?
So I agree, because I thought so in real time. I went back. I think we were only up like 12 or 13, and it was like 5 minutes left, which is not a big lead at all. So I initially was on your same wavelength. I was like, why is Julius? I was like, first of all, why are the starters out there? And I went back to that game. I went back to the game. We were only up 12, no more than 15 for sure, with 5 minutes left, and all of Miami's starters were in there.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
just
was just like,
that's just basketball, bro.
it was a freak accident.
No,
He went
that's just
up
basketball.
and got fouled on a fast break, and it's just like, what? Like, it's part of the game, right? Like, OG's hamstring injury. That's one thing. That's a non-contact. That's probably from overuse. But the Julius Randle thing, if that happened in game one of the playoffs, what are you going to say? He shouldn't be out there? You know, so that was just more of an unfortunate timing thing. But, you know, our point, you know, has always been we have limited guys. Like, literally, like, we emptied the bench yesterday. There was like 3 guys on the floor. I was like, who is that? Like, I knew Shake. I knew Jericho Sims.
Yeah.
I knew McBride. But, like, it was Diake, Jeffries, like, who
Diake is wild.
is that? Like, are those the guys like we should have developed in the rest of the season? Like,
That's wild. No, but
Like-
no. To your point, like these were developmental guys that were brought up from the G League to fill out the roster in case shit happens. None of these guys,
happen.
and shit happened. And guess what? They were in the game. And to JB's point, we didn't know who any of these dudes were. And, you know, it just goes to show that, you know, depth is relative to the situation. When it comes to injury, there was really nowhere else for the Knicks to go.
Yeah.
You have to play 7 guys and play them heavy minutes, because
Yeah,
guess what? You had nobody else. And to your point, again, Josh Hart was not starting at the beginning of the season. DiVincenzo was not starting at the beginning of the season. It was our boy Grimes, who's up in Detroit now. You know, you had to do what Tips had to do what he had to do.
I forgot about Brent Grimes.
and RJ Barrett.
And yeah.
Shout out to Katie.
We have the team fully healthy with a deep bench. bench.
It's crazy what we
A
look like
crazy
next year.
deep bench. Can
'Cause
you
you got-
imagine McBride, Devo, Bogey, Hartenstein coming off the bench?
Hart
Like,
coming off the bench too.
Hart coming off the bench? Like,
But that's if
come
we can.
on.
But that's if we can re-sign Hartenstein, because he's earned himself quite the bag this year.
Just pay him. Why do you not pay him? I don't think we need to go out and go get with that bench that we're talking about now. We don't need to go out. I remember we were talking about going out and getting somebody. We got to get a guy.
We need a 2. We need a 2 guard.
Do we
I don't
really?
know. I don't know.
I think
Do we
we do.
really?
We need a 2 guard and a playmaking point guard.
Do we really? Because when you think about
because
it, right?
Deuce is like a combo, can play the one.
But
likely
Deuce,
better at the two because he's a volume. He can be a volume shooter.
But when Deuce, this is next season, I see it like this: Deuce is on the court. Like if Jalen comes off, Deuce is only on when Julius is on.
Right.
That's the only that he's on when Julius is on.
Bring the ball up.
Mm-hmm.
You give it to Julius is gonna run the offense in a half court set, and we see what McBride could do from behind the line. Like that's just another spacer.
But then we'll always fall into the same trap of not having enough depth at those positions when there is injury.
Man. Every time, bro. And that's
wait. Let's be honest. This season.
And that's not even that's not even to speak to the point that Julius Randle might not even be the same player after this kind of injury. A lot of guys don't come back the same from a shoulder dislocation.
Does he have to be 100%?
It was his right shoulder.
Does he have to be 100%? He's a left too. Does he have to be 100% of who he was now that we've seen
his game is predicated on physicality? So yes,
bro.
Does he have to be 100% of who he was now that we've seen the emergence of some of the guys that we've seen show up in these big moments?
But that's what I'm saying. But
ideally,
but now
he doesn't have to shoulder a load. No pun intended.
Go ahead, Donnell.
Nah, I said, but now you're just playing the semantics game because it's like we need him to be who he is. You know what I'm saying? We can't have an 80% Julius Randle and expect to conquer. Number one, Embiid is coming back healthy. I talked to Sean about this earlier. Embiid is coming back healthy. Orlando is on the come up. We still got to worry about Boston.
They have a shit ton of cap room.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we
Orlando.
Yeah, they do.
I'm not worried about
Orlando and Philly. I'm worried about Philly. I'm not
worried about Philly because Embiid is playing in the Olympics. Like.
But honestly, I'm not even looking well past next year. I'm looking at this particular playoff series with the fact that we are to the point everybody made was 7, 8 players deep in rotation, maybe 8, 7 ideally, and we're giving the Pacers a run for their money, and they're only missing Mathurin.
Mathurin, yeah.
And we're giving them work.
Yeah.
Okay, so that tells you. Thank you. That tells us how good we are.
Get into my next point. How do we feel? How long do we feel the series is going to go? And what do we need to do tomorrow to win?
Listen, at the end of the day, I can definitely see this series being everyone holds home court. And if that's the case, guess what? We got 4 games at home. They only got 3. So
I think it's going 7 just because, and I said like that game 4 loss, it's a wash. You know what I mean? It just sucks because you're seeing it. You know, it was like, man, the one game that we knew every team was capable of getting blown out, that was just ours. That was it. You know, and it's just tough to see as a fan. Every team has got blown out. Every team.
We have not been. We are now. That was game 4, so we're double-digit games into the playoff, and it's our first blowout.
No, that's what I'm saying. But if you think about it, every team this postseason
has gotten
blown out.
We were the last one.
You know what I'm saying? We were the last one, so it's commendable. It's commendable. And we're the shortest team, shortest depth.
Shortest depth, shortest bench. Yeah. Like all the things that you were saying, and guess what? I'm not worried about it, man. It happens. It's the league, you know.
Again, my key to victory.
How do we win tomorrow? Yeah.
My key to victory is, you know, again, like I said since the beginning of the series when we first started talking about the Knicks, limit the others, let Tyrese Halliburton become a scorer, and Tuesday night force him to shoot, and Tuesday night set the tone, put somebody on their back, show them that we're here to be physical, and that all that dancing and shooting threes and talking shit, running up the court when you're up by 30 ain't gonna play in the Garden. Set the tone. Set the tone. Get to the basket. Make shots and play inside outside basketball. And I think the Knicks walk away with a victory. Knicks in 6.
Darnell. Let's get 15 minutes minimum for Alec Burks. Let's get 15 minutes.
Burks gave us 20. He gave us 20. He gave us 20 though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And Darnell,
point.
like, you've been talking about developing the bench. Have I not, since last series, saying play Alec Burks? I've been saying that. I'm like, yo, Jalen Brunson, I understand it. Like, he's going to get the majority of the minutes. But I'm like, you could sit him for 5. I was like, Alec Burks can give you 5 minutes.
Give me 5 minutes, bro. That's
He can
what
give
I'm
you
saying. Like,
5.
And the truth is, Deuce been doo-doo since game 2-2.
But that's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about them coming in and, you know, thank goodness for OG what he did in that game 2 when Jalen went down.
2-2.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about taking him out for a quarter. I'm talking about, hey, 3-5 minutes. Yeah, he calls a timeout.
He gets those.
That doesn't count.
So listen,
in between a break and a quarter doesn't count, man.
I think what you want. I understand what you want. You want the bench players to get more minutes. Like,
no, I don't care about the. I'm talking about the bench.
Wait a second.
Even the starters.
The starters. First of all, I feel like I do this every week. I'll be the first to say it. I was a very harsh critic of Tom Thibodeau.
You can still be one. Well,
Tibbs. Okay. Hey, yo, I'm not bored or nothing. Okay, sir?
It's a boat.
Listen.
I said a boat. I didn't say nothing else. I said a boat.
Listen. I will say this. Tibbs,
Not a Diddy boat.
I think.
Bro.
I dare you to say no Diddy. But anyway, I think Tibbs has done an amazing job, and I think you have you ever watched a game with someone who doesn't watch sports, and they be like, "Well, how much time is left?" And you'd be like, "Oh, it's like 1 minute and 30 seconds," and they'd be like,
it's forever.
20
Oh my
minutes.
God.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it really is a lot of time. When he sits Jalen Brunson with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the quarter, right?
Like a 10-minute break.
That's a 10-minute
That's
break.
a 10-minute break. And then on top of that, he'll wait. There'll be like a stoppage for something or whatever, a review. He'll wait until after a review to call a timeout.
Yeah.
That's like an instant, like, that's another 10-minute break. You know what I'm saying? Like,
his time management has been immaculate.
It's been amazing, bro.
Yeah. Under the circumstances.
So you look at the box score and you see, oh, he played 44 minutes. Yeah, he played 44 minutes.
Yeah.
He got a lot of rest in there.
And that's another thing too. Like, you end up pairing that with the analytics, and you see the on and off numbers with Brunson on the floor versus off, and it's like, all right, I'll give him the rest y'all want if y'all want to lose. Yeah. You know, you can't have both.
Gotta play him. And JB, real quick, let me play moderator, and I'll go around the bend, and I'll figure out everybody's thoughts on this. It's Jalen has an undisclosed foot injury. Do you think that he is pushing through in the playoffs and risking greater chance of injury, or do you think it's a manageable scuff that he can kind of play through?
I think it's all about pain management. They know what they've invested in Jalen Brunson. If he was at risk for serious injury, he would not be playing. This team is already undermanned. We've lost 4 starters. Guys are going down like flies. We're literally fighting attrition. We're not even fighting against the other team. I think, we've done well this year. Yeah, we want to get to the conference finals. Do we really expect to win at this rate? Not quite. Maybe if we have OG, we give the Celtics a run for their money. But at the end of the day, I think it's about pain management. And if he can manage it and get us through this series, maybe we get another 3-4 days rest before the next series starts.
Darnell?
Yeah, I'll say right now, I said this is just a war of just fighting against the physics that we have, on the court. We just don't have it. We don't got it. But I think the Brunson thing is pretty telling, because I at first thought it was his left hand. And because I seen him clutch his left hand, and I was like, okay, well, he shoots with his left, but it's been push down to saying it was his leg. You know, they were saying too his lift. He's barely even getting any lift for his shots. You know, so I guess it probably is the foot injury and something that we missed. I just right there, you know. So right now,
to your point, to me, it looked like a groin/foot injury for in terms of his lift and being able to stop and go. This past game, you didn't see it.
No. So it said right now. It said if he's able to come back from that, and if Embiid could play on one leg,
different set of circumstances, maneuvers. What say you?
Yeah. I think to Phil's point, it's definitely a pain management thing. I think I don't think there is great risk of injury. What I do think though is that if they were not playing against Rick Carlisle and the Pacers, he might have got a rest here or there, but he is not. He is not against Rick Carlisle. No.
Yeah.
He gonna play.
He wants his revenge.
And then the last point I gotta make is, they're the New York Knicks, man. This is who they are now. This is their identity. They're tough. They're gonna. We see Mitch do it. Mitch, he was hurt all Sixers series, but he knew he had to be there in order for us to have another person to throw at Embiid.
And we just got some expected news expected news today. He had surgery again on the same ankle today. So
he
was out for the playoffs either way.
He was out. You see Josh Hart playing 48 minutes every game or damn near. I'm thankful for the blowout for that respect for him to get some rest.
They better not let us win tomorrow. Because the next game is Friday.
Yeah.
They let us win tomorrow. We closing them out in their own building.
So his foot is pain management, but it's also this is their identity. This is who the Knicks are. They're tough. They don't quit. They are. You want to call them cockroaches? You call them cockroaches. You call them whatever you want to. I think they got too much heart to
no pun
quit.
intended.
No pun intended.
All puns intended. All puns intended. You know what?
What do you say? What do you say?
Who, me?
Yeah, you asked us. What do you say?
I thought I did say. I said that he has the possible groin injury that's affecting the lift on his shot and him being able to stop and go. And I think that he has. I ain't gonna be a doctor, but it looks like he has. When you ever twist your ankle on the inside and you end up on the edge of the outer side of your foot. You know how painful that is. It's super tender. No matter how much ice you put on it, the only thing you need to be able to make it get better is rest. That's where he is right now, and he just has to push through whatever Toradol or they got to shoot him up with. He's gonna make sure that he plays, but that's a very ugly, painful injury to deal with on a day-to-day.
Yeah,
if that's the case.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
They're knocking it. Yeah. So that said, what are our predictions for tomorrow night? We got a Knicks win tomorrow night.
Well, I'll be in the building. They need us. Need us. I'll be in there. I think the crowd gives us a lot of energy. I think the guys are fired up. Like them dudes ain't no quitters. You really gonna have to beat them. To take this from them. If Indiana,
I don't think the Pacers got it in them.
If Indiana thinks they're gonna come in here and shoot 69% from three in the first quarter, they got another thing coming. Like Garden is gonna be rocking. Knicks go up 3-2. OG Anunoby comes back on Friday in limited minutes, and we close them out on the road.
Well, they said he was in the pool. He doing pool work. So
honestly though, you saying Knicks go up 3-2, like that's all it's gonna take for the roof to fly off the Garden.
Yeah,
the Knicks to go up 3-2. Like, it's gonna be that crazy in the Garden. So
next day you're gonna see side talk all in with all the Knicks fans going crazy. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Cool. Fellas, as always, This great chat. There's lots and lots and lots of other things we can touch on. You know, the NFL schedule, not full schedule, but opponents has been released, the home and away games. Looking forward to getting into
those primetime games.
Yeah, looking forward to getting into that
quick
discussion.
thing, man. Quick thing, man. Shout out to Bronny, man. Went 12 for 12.
He went crazy today at the draft workout.
Wow.
That's what's
He's
up.
worked his way into a second round pick.
Yeah.
40 and a half inch vert.
Yeah.
He went 19 for 25 on his first 3-point drill, 12 for 12 on the second one.
Oh, speaking
Good
of
job by him.
Yeah. So shout out to Bronny. We got that to talk about. Definitely got some things going on in the culture to talk about. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
Mr. King Combs and stuff got some things to say, which is ill-advised in some people's opinion.
Why even saying anything? Why saying anything? You just got your driver's license.
He's scared. He's scared. He has Curtis 50 Cent Jackson scared for his life. So
Sure he does.
There's lots of things going on, but we have it's a quick hitter. We reached our time, but we will be back again. We will have more content for you. Please follow, like, subscribe, share, comment, all those good things. You show us love, we're gonna show y'all love. As always, it's been real. We out from the 22 2.
Yes, sir.